Hey, it's Vuvu, and today we're comparing two auto survivors, Vampire Survivors versus Megabonk. Both of these games are really fun, and I just figured, why not? Let's figure out which one I like and kind of compare them and see which one will keep you up at night at 2 a.m. Let's find out. Round 1, how it feels to play. So with Vampire Survivors, I feel like the fun starts around 2 minutes. I feel like it's kind of like a slog in the beginning. You're just hitting things, etc. And then everything starts kind of building. When I move around, it's pretty smooth. I feel like everything works pretty well. The weapon range, I feel like it takes practice. When I first started, it was kind of annoying because I would get too close. I wouldn't hit them, they would hit me, and I'd be like, what the heck? And then I would kind of back up, and then it was fine. Things went a lot smoother. I feel like every time I died, it was like, oh my god, I cannot believe I died that way. I was doing so good, I needed to try again. Or, I bought another character, and then I was like, I need to play again so I can play this character to see if I'm a lot better, with this one. This wizard or whatever. So, I like Vampire Survivors a lot. With Megabonk, I feel like there was chaos right away. Like, there's no chill with this game. Like, it kind of plays with you, sending you, like, 2 goblins, but then all of a sudden everything's just like, goblin, 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 goblin. And it was crazy. I did like the jumping and the camera movement and everything. That was really nice. I felt a lot freer and it was more open that way. So that was nice. Although I did feel like with it being more open, it felt like I had no idea where I was going. I mean, even if there was a mini-map, like it was... I don't know, I just felt lost all the time. While with Vampire Survivors, you had a whole screen that you could see and you could kind of plan where to go. So, there's that. I feel like with Megabonk, it was fun. I really enjoyed it, but I feel like I didn't want to play another run as much as I did with Vampire Survivors. So for this round, I feel like Vampire Survivors wins it, just because I wanted to play over and over again, while Megabonk, I wanted to play over and over, but not as much, if that makes sense. Round 2, looks and style. So Vampire Survivors, I really liked it. It was easy to read. I could see everything all at once. The gems were really, really nice, and it was easy to collect. And also I did like the level bar right on the top. At the corner of your eye, you could look at it and be like, okay, I'm this close to leveling up. This is awesome. Yay. Also, the enemies popping when they were killed was pretty satisfying, especially whenever I did a whole bunch at once, like when the bats came by and I had like a Bible going around my character and I went pop, 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 pop. Yeah, that was very nice. And with Megabonk, it was definitely a different feel. It was 3D. So obviously, it was definitely different. It felt bigger, not exactly sharper since it was still pixelated, but it just seemed more modern, I guess. I did like that this one had a mini-map. It kinda helped when I remembered to look at it, which was nice. The Vampire Survivors didn't have that one, but I mean, I don't know if it really needed it considering you could see a whole screen, and yeah, I liked that. Another thing I liked about Megabonk is that there were a lot more sounds and they were very satisfying versus the pops in Vampire Survivors. And there were a lot more different sounds too. Like there were sounds for hitting the enemies, there were sounds for the chest, there were sounds for, I don't know, all the other stuff, and that was really cool too. I liked that about Megabonk. It was just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I'll tell you what, a little bit more. So I would say for this round, Megabonk with the 3D world, and it just has a little bit more edge, a little bit more to it than Vampire Survivors. So yeah, Megabonk is the winner. Round 3, power-ups and upgrades. So with Vampire Survivors, it was pretty simple, but it had pretty fun upgrades, I think. like the whips, the Bibles. Yeah, they were fun. And they've kind of stayed the same, at least where I played. And so I was kind of getting used to what did this and what did that, etc. So that was nice. So the builds didn't really change too much for me. I mean, I did branch out to try different things just to see how a weapon would go left or right or down, whatever. And I got killed a lot trying to figure this out. But it was nice, and it kind of helped me learn a lot more than Megabonk. But Bibles are very strong, and I do think that every single run that I play, I'll have a Bible going around me because it was the ultimate defense. With Megabonk, I mean, there was no end to the upgrade sources. There was leveling, there was chests, there were shrines, shops, little random men that were just all around the map. So, I mean, there was no end in sight. So Megabonk definitely wins in power-ups and upgrades. I felt like it was also very easy to get, well, I would say I'm not sure if I really got to a broken build, but I see potential in getting a broken build. So yeah, winner is Megabonk on round 3. Round 4, enemies and levels. Alright, Vampire Survivors, the enemies, they were cool. They were fun. The swarms of bats, annoying. Venus flytraps, annoying. All of them, annoying. But I liked that, like, they just kind of stayed the same every single time you did a run and started over. There were the bats, and then there were Venus flytraps. They would always circle you, which helped me learn the pattern of the levels and things like that so that I could play them, which was nice. Helped. Yay, beginner. And I feel like it was also a steadier pacing to Vampire Survivors than Megabonk, which I, as a beginner, once again, enjoyed because then I could just get better and better as I did runs. And it just builds gradually, and there was a predictable rhythm, so I dig that. Alright, with Megabonk, I felt like there were more varied enemies. They definitely popped up a lot more. Just very chaotic. I also felt like the swarms were scarier. Maybe it was because they were 3D, but I felt like the chaos ramped up a lot faster than Vampire Survivors. And so I felt like there was less time to breathe and figure things out and just kind of learn how to survive. So, you know, if you're a beginner and you want to try an auto survivor, I would say start with Vampire Survivors, get good at that, and then do Megabonk. I feel like learn from a fellow beginner. Vampire Survivors is where it's at. But yes, for this round, I feel like it's kind of a draw. So Vampire Survivors for pacing, and then Megabonk for variety. Round 5, replay value. Alright, so for Vampire Survivors, I feel like because I was able to unlock and buy characters easily, having the meta upgrades, whereas like you had the magnet, I don't know, I can't remember any of the other ones, but like I bought the magnet, and so that's the one I have in my head. That was very motivating to want to play again and try another run so that I can see how the magnet brings in all the gems and play the other characters like the witch or is it a wizard? I'm not really sure, and see how that one played, which by the way, I was very good at the witch wizard lady because, you know, fireball, fireball, fireball. So I learned that was my playstyle in Vampire Survivors. With Megabonk, it was a different story, kind of. So like, I do like that there were a lot of characters, so I could be like, oh man, if I keep on playing, then I can unlock these characters. But I feel like it's a little bit harder to get the characters because you have to complete certain quests or certain achievements. So like, I just feel like for me, I'd have to grind a lot to get these things, work even harder than the people that are very good at these games to get other characters to play because I have to do quests instead of just buy them. Which, I mean, I could see it being good for replay value at least, to be like, okay, well, if you want these characters, you need to keep on playing this game so that you can figure out what they are. So I get it. I think for me, Vampire Survivors wins this one, just because that's just my opinion, I guess. Simpler replay. I like that. Round 6, sounds and music. So I kind of got into this a little bit with the different ways that when you kill enemies, like it makes a bonk noise or like a pop noise and then they die. But for this, I kind of want to go more into like the background music, I guess. So with Vampire Survivors, I feel like it was tense, but it wasn't annoyingly tense. It was more chill. It was a chill tense, if that makes sense. With Megabonk, I felt like it was really catchy, and honestly, it stays in my head afterwards. Like it's just one of those songs that just stays with you, and it wasn't annoying, not too annoying at least. There's also way more audio variety, like the enemies, the bosses, the environment, the bonks, everything. There was just a lot more. Oh, and the microwave and the radio that you can kind of interact with, and it plays, I guess, if I remember right, it plays a little bit louder and does a little something a little bit different. I thought that was pretty creative, and I kind of like that too. Kind of changed things up. It wasn't too bad. Like, it wasn't too overwhelming, but it was still chaotic. I don't know if that makes sense, but I liked Megabonk's sound. It was nice. So honestly, I think Megabonk is the winner because there's just more variety in general. Round 7, ease of use. So I feel like Vampire Survivors is just easier to pick up, and I don't know, it's just very easy to learn, and it kind of has a pattern, and it just makes it easier to, it's just easy. It's just much easier. I mean, it gets harder, don't get me wrong. Once things start coming in hard, it's really hard to survive. I mean, you just move around, you look to see if there's a clear path, you survive, you grab the XP, you level up. Simple, simple, simple. Just kill things. And you know, a good thing about Vampire Survivors is that even though there's so many monsters on the screen, it doesn't like break. I thought that was really nice that it just runs smooth even in the chaos. So I think Vampire Survivors did good on that. I feel like with Megabonk though, there were a lot more controls because it was 3D, so you could jump, you could slide, you can interact with things, or there were a lot more buttons to push instead of just moving around and stuff. But I mean, for me, it wasn't too overwhelming, and it did click after a little bit, so I can't say that it was really hard to pick up, but I mean, it was definitely harder to pick up than Vampire Survivors. Yeah, I'll stick with that. And after a few runs, Megabonk was pretty easy to pick up, but it took me like 3 runs to pick up Megabonk, while Vampire Survivors, I was able to figure it out after 1 run. So for this round, I would say that Vampire Survivors wins. Alright, time for the final verdict. So my go-to is Vampire Survivors. I think it's chill, it's super addictive. I want to replay that over and over, and honestly, I would like to play right now, but I think that Vampire Survivors is my favorite between the two. But for Megabonk, if you want better upgrades, a 3D style instead of a 2D style, you're just 2D is just not your thing, and you like a lot of sound, so much sound that your ears are just ringing, then Megabonk is for you. And I mean, every once in a while it's for me. But yeah, alright then. That's my comparison. Let me know what you think in the comments. Whether you prefer Megabonk or you prefer Vampire Survivors like me, I want to know. To see more content like this or gameplay that may or may not suck, then hit that subscribe button. See you next run. Bye bye.